Hi and welcome to a quick Photoshop tutorial from Impact Media. I'm just going to show you how to create an image and save it for your website. So very quickly, we're going to create a new artboard and we're going to go up to the top. We're going to go File, New, and you can name the file or you can just leave it untitled. We're going to call it, let's call it CML. Right, the width, we're going to make 600. If you've got different proportions, then obviously insert your proportions here. We're going to do 600 by 180, which is the size of the file we need. And ensure the resolution is set to 72. That's basically a typical one for web. And color mode is RGB. So we're going to go OK, and we've got this nice blank canvas now, which we're going to drag a photograph on, which is on our desktop, and we're going to stick a little bit of text over the top. Very simple stuff. So go to our desktop, I'm going to click on the image, right click, open with Photoshop. There we go, and I'm going to show you how to resize this very briefly. We're going to go image size, we're going to make it 1000 pixels wide, and we're going to ensure this little linking tool's on so it constrains the proportions, which is there. That makes it smaller. Let's make the window bigger. If we click the image, you can drag it onto our CML file, onto the blank canvas. And there we go. And if we move it up to where we want it, that would do. Alright, something else I'm going to show you as well, just to do with alignment, placing, is if you go to View, Show, Grid, you'll see these little blue little grid lines come up. I've set mine up to be, I'll show you here in the guides, 20 pixels, and it's got 4 subdivisions. If you copy this, basically you just follow this simple rule. Just sets it up. So if you zoom in using the little magnifying glass tool, you've got every one of these boxes is 20 pixels. It just makes it easier to place files. Right, now we're going to draw a box to go over the top using the rectangle tool and selecting our colour, which is green. And if you look at these little boxes here, each one of these is 5 pixels. We're going to go from 10 from the bottom. So looking at that, zooming out using the Alt key and the magnifying glass, you'll see it goes. You can zoom in and zoom out. So 10 from the bottom, and we're going to go 60 high. There we go. And there's our green little box. We're going to reduce the opacity to make this a little bit transparent, and we go to the Layers palette. You've got the opacity, if we make that 85%. And then just briefly talking about the layers, you can drag each one of these so they're not flat, so you can edit them later on because we're going to save the PSD file as well. You can hide them as well. It's trial and error, you can play around with these all day long. We're going to put some text onto this little green box, so we go to the white, and we're going to go charge. Okay, we've got our wording. Once you've finished writing your text using the text tool, you can also change your font up the top as well, as is Dual Sans. Use the direct selection tool, and we're going to move this down to where we want it. We want it 20 pixels using the little grid from the bottom, from the side, and from the top, so it's nice and centralized from the left. And then we're ready to save the image. So if we go up to File and we go Save for Web, ensure it's on JPEG, or if you need it for a GIF you can change it here to GIF. We're going to save it to JPEG, and we go File Save. We're going to save it to our desktop. We're going to call it CML Header. I've already done one, so I'm just going to replace it and just go Save, Place, and that's it. And if we're going to save the Photoshop file, again, we go to Save As instead of Save for Web, and we're going to call this one, we'll just call it CML, File Save, OK, and then you'll be uploading your image to your site or your email campaign, and that's it. Thank you for listening. This is James at Impact Media. Goodbye.